Now, Richo,
There's
you've
a
written...
subtext here.
Sorry,
I think, Chris.
yes, go on.
There's a subtext here. I look at our universities, and it's amazing how universities, which are supposed to be citadels behind which free speech is protected, there's no free speech at our universities. If you try and get up and speak against whatever's the current fad, you're in all sorts of strife. I mean, you try and get up and defend the state of Israel at one of our universities and see what happens to you. I mean, it's a disgrace.
Yeah.
I think we've just lost the plot at universities. We don't understand about freedom of speech anymore. You can only speak if you agree with the mob.
Exactly. Your whole idea in tertiary education was to be objective, but there's no such thing as objectivity at university. You're dead right. Now, Richo, you've written brilliantly yet again this week in The Australian. You've linked the riots in the United States to the specific history of migration and poverty in that country, which is unique, and how we in Australia don't have that same racial division. The inequality in the United States is deep-seated, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't think it'll ever go away. You know, as long as it remains the Mecca to get to from any place in South America or Mexico, and people just you know, go through its borders, because you can't, unless he builds that wall. Borders are porous. You can always get through them if you're keen. Even with walls, you can tunnel under them, as the Israelis have discovered. I mean, it's really going to be, I think, a forlorn search for peace in America on racial issues. I think that things are going to remain awful because poverty is entrenched in the black communities. It doesn't go away. And I don't think that it would be in the top 100 of the issues that Trump thinks he's got to deal with.
It all began, though, with slavery in terms of the historic context. And this so-called American dream does not apply to black America, does it?
No, that's the problem. They're not part of the dream and never have been. There might have been a civil war. There might have been a victory for those who abolished slavery, but they didn't abolish poverty. It's just continued on, and I can't see how they're going to get an end to it anytime soon. You know, education helps, and that is getting better, but it's a very slow process. And so you're going to have these boilovers of anger that poverty inevitably brings you again and again in America. And I think, you know, I think my grandchildren will still be seeing some of it, sadly.
Without doubt, and it is a sad outcome.